disaster recovery can show up in many different ways for your business, and I just want to make sure that it's understood that for the context of our discussion, we're talking about disaster recovery specifically within the context of the IT solutions at your office. So your servers, if there was ever a cybersecurity incident, those types of things. And there are obviously other ways that you can consider and apply disaster recovery, but for our context and our conversation today, let's keep the focus with technology. So first, disaster recovery is about more than cybersecurity. So I work for an IT company, so a lot of our time and effort right now is focused on the topic of cybersecurity. How do we make sure our clients are secure? How do we make sure that we can get things back up and running in the event of an accident or an incident? But one of the things that I think is very important is that we really start communicating about the fact that disaster recovery is really meant to protect your business from a variety of different incidents and situations. So I'm going to kind of run through a few of these and give you examples. So for instance, disaster recovery is about more than cybersecurity. It can also impact and influence your response to an incident such as a hardware failure. So for example, a server crash that was unexpected, since those are never planned. But a server failure, a laptop doesn't work anymore, a hard drive went bad, those types of situations where you've got a piece of equipment that you were depending on for your business that is now down and unusable. So what are we going to do in that event? There's also cybersecurity. That's something, like I said, we talk about a lot. The primary focus there is going to be malware and ransomware. If your network were infected across the board, if every workstation was infected with ransomware when you came in on a Tuesday morning, what are we going to do? How are we going to recover from this, and how are we going to get the business back up and running? And then also, how are we going to keep the business running while we're recovering? Another example is going to be physical or natural disaster. These things happen. We can talk about floods, fire, tornadoes, or for instance, you have a pipe burst and that ends up flooding your server room. Disaster recovery is going to help you prepare for that and also, make it through that situation. The last two are going to be related to employee and staff for the most part. But disaster recovery and data backups also help when your employees make mistakes. We all make mistakes. We're all human. You accidentally delete a file, your computer loses battery in the middle of while you're working on a presentation. Any number of things can happen, and having a good data backup and disaster recovery plan is going to help your staff recover that data if they ever accidentally deleted it. And then, there's accidents, and then there's, intentional malicious activity. So you've got an upset employee who takes it out on the hard drives at the office. They could stealing equipment, compromising equipment, damaging equipment. All of those things happen, and we don't want to think about them, but disaster recovery and a data backup solution is going to be able to really help you handle that in the event.